Yo, what's up, everybody? Carlton C. Clay here, and welcome to VPN Chat. I'm so excited about this episode because we have, you know her as Bridget. Yes, First Lady Bridget, then turned Mayor Bridget from Lover's Lane. But I would like to introduce my friend, actress Felicia Renee. Let's bring her in.
Hey, boss man, how you doing?
Hey, Miss Felicia Renee, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Let's go.
Yes, I'm excited. But first, we have to cheers out, y'all. Felicia asked me about doing wine. So I said, of course, let's get into it with this wine. So cheers to you, ma'am. Here you go. Boom.
Thank you very much for having me on your show.
I appreciate you. Thank you for doing this. This is going to be a lot of fun. We're basically just talk about you, talk about behind the scenes stuff. Of course, we got to get into Lover's Land, of course.
Yeah.
But first, let's get started with you. How did you get started in this entertainment world? How did you get started with acting?
Okay. I'm actually going to keep it short and sweet.
Okay.
So I always wanted to do something. Like I watched people on TV and I was like, I could do that. I did a little something in high school, but it didn't really get started for me until I ended up back home. And the story actually is I ran into someone who was a musician who looked at me one day and said, "You look like you could act. Can you act?" And I was like, "Yeah, kind of, used to in high school." He connected me with somebody else who connected me with somebody else. And next thing I knew, like 3 weeks later, I was cast in the lead role in a play. So that's how it actually happened, is that it just happened. But once it happened, I couldn't go back.
Awesome. Awesome. So yeah, let's get into, because again, this story is similar to kind of how you got on Lover's Lane. It's,
Right.
so it seems like all this stuff be happening, you be like, it just comes to you. So we're gonna talk about Lover's Lane. First of all, for people who don't know, Felicia was not the original Bridget. I know, shocker. I know y'all, why people who are fans of the show, y'all like, what? There's no
Who
other.
else could she have been?
Right, exactly. The original person that was going to play Bridget could no longer do it, and so it was literally, I think, 2 weeks. Was it 2 weeks before? I'm trying to think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, about 2 weeks before
Mm-hmm.
filming, and that she dropped out like 2 weeks before filming. And so, and mind you, this is our first season. This is my first time filming in North Carolina. I'm doing all my stuff in Augusta. This is my first North Carolina show. And I'm like, oh my gosh, these people gonna think I'm so unorganized and not don't know what I'm doing. And so we ended up doing an emergency casting call. There were two people that were mentioned. So I'm gonna ask you, on your end, how did you hear about Lover's Lane?
See, I don't think I've ever told you the whole story. I really
Okay.
don't.
Okay.
So I was looking for a new role because at that time I felt like I was being typecast. I was the girlfriend, wife, lover who was constantly being cheated on and crying, and Lord help me, send me another man. I was getting tired of that role, right? And so I saw a casting call for a first lady. Now, this is when we still had our forever president. And so when I saw First Lady, I was like, heck yes, I could be the president's wife. That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. Absolutely, I could do that. So I reached out to the person that posted it because it wasn't you.
Right.
It was someone else. And I reached out to them and I was like, how do I audition? What do I do? And she put me in touch with you. And for those people who do not know, Carlton didn't ask me for an audition tape. He didn't say get on a call with me. What he said, people, was look at this script and tell me if you can memorize it in 2 weeks. And I was like, yeah, I could do that. And so my first thought was, what am I getting into? Because he hadn't even seen my face yet.
Mm.
He don't know nothing about me. So that was my first thought. So then I had to go do my deep dive on Carlton T. Clay.
Mm.
And that's when VPN still had a YouTube channel. So the first thing I did was I dove into the Lion's Den because that's what you had out. Like that was your big show at that time.
Right.
So I was like, all right, let's get into the Lion's Den. Let's see what kind of writer he is. Because I had read the script and I liked it, but I wasn't so sure because of how the audition audition went. I watched The Lion Den. I absolutely loved it. I was like, oh, and then I noticed that like practically the whole North Carolina crew had been cast. And I didn't know them that well, but I had worked with some of them already. And I was like, oh, this might be cool. So that is how it went on my end. It was
Okay.
literally, I need somebody, memorize it, come to set and be ready. And I'm like, yes, sir. Okay, I'll be there.
So on my end, it was you and there was another young lady who submitted. So
Mhm.
for me, I was like, okay, who lives in the closest proximity of where we're filming? Because the
Mm.
first season we shot in Winston Salem and
Mhm.
Greensboro. So I was like, who is closest in proximity? And when you told me where you lived, I was like, she lives farther away than the other person. So I was like, let me just go with the other person at first. I was like, I'm gonna go with her. I was like, as I said, Felicia, I'm gonna have you on standby, and then we went with the other person. So same question I gave Felicia is what I gave the other person, and the other person was like, "Are you gonna have cue cards?" And I was like, "Ma'am, this is not the news. This is not the news. No, ma'am, we will not have cue cards. So you already out." I was like, "Nah, okay, all right, nah." So I said, "We're just gonna go with Felicia." I said, "Do you have a problem traveling to where we're gonna be at?" You said, "No problem," and then you was
Nope.
there. So that is the story of how Felicia Renee became Bridget, and that is the story of how we first met in person that day one
On set.
on set.
On set. And I still wasn't sure what to make of you because on set, if y'all don't know, Carlton gets on camera like this and he is grinning and he is smiling. Baby, on set, that is not who he is. Not until he's comfortable. Not until he's comfortable. So that first day or two, especially early in the morning, he is business. Y'all, I need y'all over here. Seeing this, like it's like, okay, all right, let's
Did I
go. Let's go.
did I hug you? Did I hug you the first
Nope.
day?
Nope.
I
Nope.
didn't.
Nope.
Okay, because Moni. For those who don't know, Moni B, she was our makeup artist. I didn't. It was one day I didn't hug her either, and I was like, I did it. I said I'm a hugger. I'm such a hugger. But okay,
Not, but again, on set, like when it's time to work, Carlton Clay works. I don't, y'all have heard about how Tyler Perry is on set where he's going to film an entire movie in like a weekend. That is what Carlton is like. I mean, he gets it done though. It's like everybody snaps to it and we get it done. But on set, he is really intense. Not mean, just intense. So it's
ah,
like,
but that's
so no,
interesting. Oh, that's interesting to
yeah.
hear. That's interesting to hear. So I want to talk about. I think our very first scene, because again, people, for y'all's the church that you guys saw on season one was not the
Mm-hmm.
original church that we were supposed to film in. And it's funny because I had this conversation with Kevin offline, and I was like, bruh, if you would have seen that church,
I
because
didn't know that.
yeah, that church, I'm telling you, yeah. I'm just gonna say thank God for Javetta and her parents.
Mm,
Because
mm.
I'm telling you, and I probably because again, I was sold. Mind you, again, people, I don't live in North Carolina. I don't live. I didn't.
Right.
So I'm trusting the producers that signed on to the project to get these
Uh-huh.
locations and all this other stuff. So when I pulled up to this church, I'm like, this is not. This is a shack. I don't. I'm not. And I'm not gonna talk about. I'm not trying to talk about nobody's house of worship. But this was something.
Right. But
This
it's
was.
about the set.
It was about the set. And first of all, it hadn't been. You could tell it hadn't been. It was vacated. Like it was not there. Nobody used
Oh.
it. It was cobwebs. It was
Oh.
Felicia. There
I did not know this.
there
I
was no.
didn't know any of this.
There was no office. Like
No
it.
wonder you were so intense that first day.
Yes, because I was stressed out because this was not what I was told the building was going to look like, and I had to hurry up and try to find another
Okay.
building. And mind you, people, again, we shot season one literally in 2.5 days. We shot Saturday, Sunday, and then I had to actually have to get extra hours from Monday because we were supposed to be done Sunday, but
Right.
we needed extra hours Monday. I had to shoot Nelson and Ashley's stuff on
Mm-hmm.
Monday. And thank God they were flexible enough to say, hey, we can do it. And we shot that Monday morning with Ashley and Nelson. So just keep in mind, just keep all that in mind. We shot 8 episodes in 2.5 days.
Yes, we did.
So Felicia,
yes, we did.
Felicia, I want you to talk about that, because a lot of people still to this day don't believe it. And I want you to talk about your experience shooting that much in those days.
Carlton T. Clay runs a sweatshop. And I swear to God, at this point, I have not decided whether or not there is some union somewhere I can report him to. No. So absolutely, days were packed, but I got a little bone to pick with you, Carlton. Little bone.
Okay.
We would get these set lists, and Carlton would have me running from 8 a.m. to dang near 10 p.m. I would get 10 to 15 minutes in between to change clothes and change hair and change accessories and whatever. Run to get makeup done. Folks is in the kitchen eating. Ain't nobody leaving me no food, because Carlton would schedule me back to back for one full day. One full day. And it never failed. It was always like that for one day on set.
Well, I want to officially apologize to you for that. I am so sorry. I am sorry, because when you are in the mindset of a producer, right? Again, I only have you guys for this set amount of days. And it's like, okay, we literally have to get all this stuff done. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get them again, especially if you share scenes with certain people. So my goal as a producer was like, let's get as much done as we can. But yeah, you live and you learn. I definitely, my later years, I've got a lot better as far as scheduling. Now, mind you, too, I'm thinking in my head when we're shooting in North Carolina, that's a little bit more like Augusta, because Augusta, like, literally, I tell people, South Carolina is literally a bridge over. Like, when you're in Augusta, North Augusta is South Carolina, and you literally just get on that 13th Street Bridge and you're in South Carolina. Or if you're going to Grovetown or whatever. So I'm thinking, okay, going from Winston-Salem to Greensboro, that's probably like 20 minutes to 30 minutes. It is not. I was like, no. And then mind you, when we were shooting season 2 and we went to Goldsboro, I was like, I was not estimating the time correctly on that either. So it was a lot of times I wasn't correct. I didn't do my research as far as the city. So by the time I'm like, oh, we got to shoot. I'm trying to shoot this at 5 and shoot this next scene at 8 o'clock. And I'm like, oh, it literally takes an hour to get to the location. So that was on me. I didn't plan that. I will publicly say,
but you know what? I
apologize.
But you know what? So, see, it's all jokes, because yes, it was hard. It was a lot to do in a day, but I had a ball doing it. Like, just switching my mindset from scene to scene. In this scene, I got to be mean and evil, and this scene, I got to be cowering in front of my daddy. Like, like having to switch as much as I did really sharpened my craft. So yeah, it was tough. I got hungry a couple times because the cast wouldn't save me no food. I hope all of them are watching. Y'all wouldn't save me no food. But
me and you in the same boat. I didn't really get.
Oh yeah, we were.
Yeah.
But I also want everybody to keep in mind that for the majority of the Lover's Lane run, Carlton was a one-man show. He was filming, he was lighting, he was script supervisor, he was director, he was like, if there was a hat, he had it on. So it wasn't just me running around, like he said. It was him too, like beginning to end, never sitting, not a drop of water in his mouth, just rolling until someone made him sit down and eat.
Yeah, for sure.
So it wasn't just me, people. It wasn't just me. We was working it together.
We was all in this together. Let's talk about the evolution.
We was all in this together.
Yeah, let's talk about the evolution of Bridget. From where she started to where she ended. So I'm gonna let you have the floor on that. Because she started off as the first lady of the church. ended up being the mayor. And there's a lot of things about Bridget that we didn't know throughout the show until we got to the final season. Like for instance,
Right.
that like her daddy had other children. So yeah, but let's talk about Bridget. Like, what you give us
Yeah.
your thoughts on her evolution throughout the series?
So you know what drew me to Bridget from the very first season was that she was a villain, but she wasn't a villain just because. Like there was, regardless of whether you loved or hated Bridget, there was always something behind her actions. She wasn't mean for the sake of being mean. She was
Mm,
mean because she was protecting her family. She was mean because she was protecting her friends. She was mean because her heart got broken. Like whatever it was, there was always something behind it. She was not, and I liked trying to push that part of her. Yeah, she could be vindictive. She had a smart mouth. She pulled all the strings, but I liked portraying the why. I liked people seeing the, she might be a nice person if this wasn't happening or if this wasn't happening. So that was an important part of her character to me, to always make sure that she wasn't evil for the sake of being evil. She was a person. She was a real person, real feelings, real emotions, and I tried my best to make sure that came through whenever she was on screen.
I think you did more than try. You definitely did. I think people. That's why people love Bridget. Like, she's definitely like that. She's definitely. I don't want to say she's the villain of the show. I have to say she's definitely several people's antagonist, but I wouldn't necessarily call her the villain. I think she definitely
Oh
she
no, no, no.
yeah.
She was the villain for a season or two. She was a villain, and I like the fact that she was a villain. She was the villain. She was arranging hits and getting folks beat up. She was the villain for a little bit. Okay.
No, I don't think so. Now your daddy is
No,
the
but he was
villain.
a true villain. He was a true villain. Auntie Pam was a true villain. But Bridget came out on top in the end because that's what she does. That's how she do. She come out on top. You never get one over on Bridget. She's always two steps ahead of you.
I want to talk about the Bridget Kane relationship. I'm gonna tell y'all how this came about, and it's Felicia and TJ's fault. They don't want to take the credit for it, but this is their fault. Uh, let's get into it because I
Hold on, let
remember.
me take a sip because I don't.
Take a sip.
Mm-hmm,
Take all the sips
mm-hmm,
because
mm-hmm.
we was in Javetta's old apartment, the apartment she was staying in at the time. You and TJ were having a conversation at the table. Y'all didn't think I heard y'all. Y'all talking about what if Kane and Bridget hooked up? I said,
Mm.
oh, okay. They want
Hold
to
up.
I said, oh, they want to go there.
So hold up, sir. Wait a minute. So yes, I remember that day because I don't know which one of us did it, but one of us posted a picture of us together.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we called ourselves the axis of evil or the nexus of evil or something like that. But
Mm-hmm.
we were talking about teaming up. We weren't talking about hooking up, sir. We were talking about teaming up. We
Mm-hmm.
were talking about the backstory where Bridget was pulling Kang strings and she had him doing stuff. We were talking about the base.
Sure.
That was not what the conversation was. At least
Sure.
it wasn't from my end.
Sure.
What we were talking about. We were talking about what if they joined forces,
I'm just gonna
sir.
keep saying sure.
Y'all, we ain't gonna talk about how I believe Carlton just saw it. He just looked at TJ and he looked at me and was like, yeah.
Absolutely
Mhm.
not. Absolutely not. It was definitely the conversation. I was like, okay, they want to play these
But
games.
then,
We're gonna take it up a
but then
notch on
let me
season
say,
two.
I never thought, because I'm gonna tell you the truth. Let's tell the truth, the truth, the truth.
Okay.
It ended up being a great storyline. It did from beginning to end. But for a little while, I didn't like it. I didn't
Okay.
like it. And it wasn't TJ. It wasn't TJ. TJ is a wonderful actor. I love bouncing off of him. He gives great energy, so I can give it right back. But it never made sense to me because I was like, Bridget ain't into thugs. Like, there's no way Bridget is into thugs. Like, there were so many people who came across that show that I was like, yeah, I can't remember the immigration officer's name. I can't remember his name.
We're gonna get into that in a second. We're gonna get into that. We are
We're
going
gonna
to
get
get
into that.
into that.
But yeah, it never made sense to me that Bridget in her position and well, no, let me back that up. Let me back that up. So it made sense temporarily. The concept behind it, Bridget was married to a closeted gay man, so we know she won't get her needs met. And ain't nobody gonna meet your needs. Let's just be real. Ain't nobody gonna meet your needs like a man who's been without for a couple years. And Kane had recently gotten out of jail, so that made sense for the moment. But then, like, the continuing on and like her almost seeming to kind of sort of fall in love, it was like I mean, I'm gonna roll with it, and we're gonna do it. But like, it never made sense to me for Bridget to fall in love with the thug,
Mm.
only because of who she was and how like she was all about appearances. And Bridget didn't hide anything. She might not tell her business, but she ain't hide nothing. And Kane, she had to hide. So that was the only part about it for me. It was like it made for a great story,
Mm.
but Felicia watching the story was like, mm-mm. So yeah,
Well,
that was probably the only part of Bridget's journey that never quite made sense to me.
I appreciate you rolling with it. I think, like I said again, it's just one of those parts of Bridget that's like for me, Bridget is so multifaceted, and Bridget has so many layers to her. And
Mm-hmm.
in part, Kane. You know, a lot of times people say well, not you, but people fall in love with their parent. Their people like their parents. Kane,
Okay.
Kane is like her father. Her,
Okay.
Kane and Bridget's dad have a lot of similarities.
I can meet you there. I can see that. So okay.
Yeah.
Okay. At
So
least that makes it make a little bit more sense for me. Because on the surface it never made sense. But okay. I got it
yeah.
now. I'm with you. We here.
But I'm gonna tell the people though the catalyst behind it was Felicia and TJ's fault. I'm just gonna say that. That's all I got.
I am standing 10 toes down that he misunderstood that conversation. He misunderstood that conversation. I was having too much fun being mean, and TJ was having too much fun being mean. And we were talking about the fact that Kane and Bridget could run the city if they ran together. That's
Mm.
really what we were talking about.
Do you really think Bridget will let Kane run the city with her? Nah, Bridget's like I'm a use
No,
Bridget's I'm gonna use you to get what I need, and then I'm done with
that's
you.
what she did. That's exactly what she did,
And
but she
that's why
just let it go on a little bit too long.
and that's why she got shot.
Yeah, she let it go on a little bit too long. She let him off his leash one too many times.
But but
She should
but
have
then
just gotten rid of him.
but then Bridget wouldn't have the beautiful baby that she has.
You're right. She got her two bright spots out of this. She got both her kids back, or she's got both her kids around her, so she's happy with that. So he served a purpose, I suppose. He served his purpose.
So
He
let's
donated his time.
his stuff. Yeah. So you mentioned the not social worker, the
The immigration officer.
immigration officer, that which was played by Damian S. Johnson. Shout out to my boy Damian. So
Yes.
what ended up happening was, again, people, if you're in the our business, that what we do, a lot of times what we write doesn't make it to the screen.
Right.
Sometimes things happen and you have to go to plan B. In
Mm-hmm.
that instance, we had to go to plan B. Damien couldn't make a filming session. And so
Yes.
uh we had to go because originally Bridget and the immigration officer were supposed to hook up. They were supposed to link up. But unfortunately Damien couldn't make it that weekend. And so it was like, okay, that storyline scrapped. So I know a lot of people were wondering like what happened with that, because I know it was a lead up. Cause we shot
We were
that season.
building up to it. Yeah.
Yeah, that season we shot. That's when we started on season 3. We started breaking it up into shooting in both 2 weekends. So we shot the first half one
Mm-hmm.
weekend, and we'll shoot the second half the second weekend. So Damien was there for the first weekend, but he couldn't make it to the second one. So unfortunately, that storyline got scrapped. So it was like he was there. That's why a lot of things that Bridget did on the second, if you notice on the second half of the season, she did it on the phone or on the computer. Because we had to go to plan B.
Right. We had to ad-lib whole scenes.
Yeah.
And figure it out. Off the
Absolutely.
top of the dome.
Absolutely.
I will say I hate that storyline never got a chance to see the light of day because, you know, it was unfortunate that his character was never going to make it to the next season anyway. Regardless, the same thing would have happened. But I felt like what you wrote for her would have changed her a little bit. It would have changed her a little bit had we had a chance to do it. So I do regret that we didn't get a chance to do that.
I agree. I agree, definitely. Speaking of regrets and things not making it to the screen, let's talk about this infamous final scene that me and you always talk about. We always talk about this final season that never made the light of day.
Oh my God.
So for people who don't know, there are 4 versions of season 6. There are 4 versions. The original version, the very first version, so let me back this up. So you remember in season 5, we introduced the Scott character on the club scene. Also, I'm gonna throw this in there too. Season 5, that's not the original season 5 either.
Oh, that I didn't know.
That no, because the original season 5, Curtis is supposed to be there. GL couldn't make it. GL couldn't film as a main character that season. So that's why we had his character move to Washington, D.C., where
in the car.
Yeah. So that's why at the time GL was living up there. And so me and Jessica actually went up there and shot their scenes together up there. So GL was originally supposed to be in season 5, and it was a lot of stuff that was supposed to transpire, but you know, again, things happened and we had to change some stuff up. So that's why the Scott character, that's why the Scott character was introduced in season 5, because Scott he was introduced in the club episode. In season 6, he was the one, so it was gonna be like a whole big murder mystery. Different people were gonna.
It was Clue, who done it.
Yes. It was a whole who done it situation. Different people were going to die each episode, so it was gonna be like it wasn't gonna be like Tyler Perry on Have Not, where he killed everybody off in one episode. It wasn't like that. It literally was gonna be every episode somebody would have died, and you had to try to figure out who did it. And then eventually you find out that it was Scott, and there was reasons why he was hired to do it and all this other stuff.
You guys, Carlton was in his bag with that script. All of us, like, we had a group email we had a group chat, and everybody, you could tell when they finished the script because everybody just went, wow, in the chat, and we could not wait to get to work. We couldn't wait.
Yeah. But things happen. Again, things happen.
If you still have that script, there are times when shows do revivals. Y'all see, I'm trying to throw some stuff out there, right? So shows do revivals, and they do things that you didn't know, you know. They pick up these threads. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just saying.
You better
like there's not a demand for it.
I'm about to say, you better start giving these people this false hope. These people know I'm retired.
See, y'all don't know. I had a conversation with Carlton recently. I said, retired. Okay. I said, okay, retired.
I do want to talk about the other potential season 6. I don't know if I told you this or not. Well, it's probably either you or Kevin. I can't remember. But see, I know EJ was killed at the end of season 5.
Right.
So the beginning of season 6 actually was going to reveal that it was all a dream. like EJ getting shot.
Yeah, I think you said that on Facebook, and I was like,
Yeah, so this is how that was gonna go. So we can talk about that. EJ
mm-hmm.
was gonna wake up, so it would have showed him getting shot in the head, blah 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 blah. He would have woke up from that, and I believe the episode was titled Dreams and something. It was Dreams and something. But anyway, so he would have woke up from that, and season 6 would have saw his evolution of trying to be a better person. Because
Okay,
EJ was very all about himself. He was all about, just pleasing himself or whatever. Um,
right.
but the big reveal would have been because at the end of season 5, also we saw that Tasha had called EJ, the mayor, and GL. Well, she didn't necessarily call them, but she called somebody, and all three of them had popped up.
And
So we had to figure
right.
out who the baby's father was between those three. And so season 6 would have revealed that EJ was indeed the father, but EJ is dating Cynthia. They got back together. So EJ and Cynthia would have been together, and that whole dynamic of him being with Cynthia, but also being the father of Tasha's baby. So it would have been a whole. It would have been a whole.
Wait, I'm
Yeah.
gonna need to know. You will have to explain to me what kind. And see, this is something that I think our viewers noticed when Lovers Lane was actually on. We as actors are fans of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we typically would not read the whole script so that we could watch along with everybody and be surprised too. So, this is where this whole thought process is coming from for me. For anyone who's wondering, why is she talking like she wasn't on the show? I was on the show, but I was also a fan of the show. Like these
Right.
recaps was real. So
Right.
anyway, I'm trying to figure out what kind of playeristic, funky Cadillac lines did you have EJ lay on Cynthia, who can't stand him,
I'm going to.
to make her?
I'm going to do a special request for you. I'm going to send you those scripts.
Thank you, because I'm like, he do that.
I'm gonna send it to you.
Because if there were two people Cynthia didn't like, it was EJ and Gabe. She had nothing to do with either one of them. And somehow or another, she ends up sleeping with one. What? Okay.
I'll send those.
I underestimated EJ's powers. That's what I did.
Send me a reminder. It may not be today, but send me a
Oh, I will,
reminder.
sir.
I'm gonna shoot it to you.
I will, sir. I will.
Mm-hmm. Me and you also talked offline. We talked about the series finale. We talked about the different ideas I had for the series finale as well. Because I had different ideas for the series finale. From what y'all saw. It was two of them. The first one was I don't know, everybody would have been hot if I would have did this. The first one was that everything that happened on Lover's Lane was actually a script that Malachi wrote.
And we'd have revolted. We would have revolted, I believe, on that set. Like, you did not just take us through, Carlton, you took us through almost, people don't quite get it. We went through almost 7 years on this show. You gonna put us through 7 years for a dream, sir? Oh.
But here's the thing, though. Oh, gosh. So, yeah, it would have been Malachi's script, but so Cynthia, Gabe, Lydia, and Bridget actually exist. But he basically like just used them to start the script. And so Lydia and Gabe at the end would have been revealed they're actually still married. They're together. Cynthia and Malachi are good. They're married. And Bridget, she's actually not a mean person. She's just, she's just doing her thing or whatever.
I'm not saying it's a bad ending. I'm not saying that. But to take all that had happened over that time and just make it something that was in Malachi's head would have been that
would have pissed everybody off.
Everybody.
That would have pissed everybody off. I already know. I can't remember what the second ending. I think I wrote it. I can't remember what it was now. I can't remember what the second
You
one
never
was.
revealed it to us. We only got the one script.
Yeah, I can't remember what the second. There was three endings, and I can't remember what the second one was. And you know what? The second ending may have been that the beginning of what I just told you about EJ. That probably would have been.
Okay.
I think that's probably what it was.
And that would have made everybody mad too. The way you wrapped it up worked quite well. The only gripe I have for you, sir, because we're gonna air it out today now, and I'm talking as a fan.
The floor is yours.
Series finale. How are you going to give us an after credit scene for a series finale and leave that dangling thread with Kane meeting his daughter? Sir, sir, you gonna wrap up the season and leave that right there and not taking it, sir?
It was way in the future. It was way in the future. So like it's way in the future.
But it was an open storyline that left us all like, so is this really done? Or are we gonna come back at some point? Because you can't leave that right there. That was the only storyline you left open. And I personally felt attacked. Like, you got me all in my warm and fuzzies thinking that this is all good and wrapped up and we is all about to skip off into the sunset.
Oh, never.
And here come Kane.
Oh, never. Never. I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Villains like that don't die. Come on.
That's right. And then, look, and let me tell you how Carlton messed with my feelings. I'm gonna say this whether you thought about saying it or not.
Okay.
So not only was Malachi getting his spinoff, Carlton T. Clay contacted me to ask me if there was an office space in my town that we could use for a potential to do something for Bridget too. And I was thinking he's gonna tie this whole Kane and the daughter thing into this Bridget thing. And I was like, yes, we're gonna finally tie this up. And it never happened.
So yes, let's talk about. We could definitely talk about that because we talked about that on Kevin's episode as well. So Kevin's spinoff was a go. Scripts were written. We had the cast. We was having issues in Augusta here with locations. Trying to get locations, all that was becoming a problem. And also scheduling started becoming an issue as well. So we kept pushing it back. Then the pandemic happened. And so during that, I started getting busy with films. Because mind you, I didn't start doing films till 2020, like actually after the pandemic began.
Right.
So, and I already had all these series I was trying to wrap up. And so unfortunately, Love Games didn't happen. And I'm going to say this too. There was a Bridget appearance on Love Games. There was a Bridget appearance. So I apologize, Lovers Lane fans, including you, Felicia Renee. I apologize that we didn't get that.
Again, I'm messing with them because I get it. I get it. Things happen. I was just like, oh, we about to do Lovers Lane Part 2. We about to take over the world with this one. All right, we about to do this, and we would go get owned.
But that was the plan, though. The plan was definitely to do the Malachi spinoff. The plan was definitely to do a Bridget spinoff with her actually climbing up the political ranks. I actually had an idea for a spinoff for your son, for Donnell. I actually had a spinoff idea for him to move to another city that had like a Lover's Lane type vibe, but he was moved to another city or whatever to start over. So yeah, I had these ideas, kind of like the Power Universe type thing. But like I said again, it was just time and different things like that. So yeah,
you landed where you were supposed to land. So that's all we're gonna say. You landed where you were supposed to land.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
The world was getting crazy. Time was getting like set availability and people's sensibilities about being on set with a bunch of people were changing. You ended where you were supposed to be.
Yeah. So let's talk about you also made a guest appearance on season 3 of Bondage. Now I was excited about that for you because it was totally different from Bridget. I was like, I'm ready to see her do something else. You were a cop, you were a detective, and I thought that was exciting. For
Hmm.
me, it was exciting seeing you do that. Tell us about your
Right.
experience. Tell us about your experience playing that character.
It was that exact thought. It was a whole new, as an actress, you are in danger of being typecast. If you do one thing and people say you did it well, that's all they want to see you do after that. So, I talk a lot about how you opened a lot of doors for me, which you really did. During and after Lover's Lane, I was getting script after script after script, but they were all, in all fairness, Bridget knockoffs. Like everybody was trying to recreate Bridget in another universe. And it was like, okay, so first off, you don't have the sprinkles. It ain't Bridget. But trust me to do something else. And so I was really excited when I got the chance to play an officer. I got a chance to do something a little grittier and something a little more grounded, something to round myself off, because that was again a character that no one had ever tried to give me before. So, getting the chance to manhandle somebody that I probably could not have manhandled in real life. Uh, getting a chance to do that, even if my time was short lived on the show, getting a chance to do that was really a lot of fun. You know what? I'm gonna take this moment, since we're talking about how you gave me those two chances when you really didn't have to. I do want to go on the record publicly to thank you, because you actually have no idea how far you pushed my career in the short amount of time I knew you. I mean,
Mm,
when I met you to do Lover's Lane, I had just made the commitment to get off the stage, because I started on stage. I had just made the commitment to get off the stage and in front of a camera. And I was like, camera is not easier work, but less work, more reward. I love the stage, but there's a lot of rehearsals and a lot of time being spent, and sometimes the money doesn't match and it just ends up feeling like you did all this for nothing. And it's nothing like getting in front of the camera. I love being in front of the camera. So I have to thank you for the opportunities you gave me, because through you, I have people literally across the country who have seen my face and know my name simply because they watched Lover's Lane. I've had real deal actresses that side by side you did with me and Veronica from Haves and Have Nots, that she actually liked on Twitter, was like fried my brain. It's like little stuff like that. And sir, just to say it, if anyone forgot, being in a Carlton T. Clay production got my name spoken in a room in Rome, of all places. Like, I was just like, these people don't even speak English and they are saying Felicia Renee,
mm.
in this award ceremony. I'm just like, what is life right now? So I have to thank you for the opportunities that you've given me. You actually put a lot of faith in someone you didn't know. You had no idea how this was going to work out, but then once you got to know me, and you were just like, all right, let's stretch. Let's push her and let's go as far as we can with her. So thank you so much. If I never get a chance to say it again, thank you so much for spending your time and using your talents to help push me forward. I really appreciate it, sir.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. You about to make me cry up here, and I've been drinking and stuff too. Oh Jesus.
Take
Oh
that sip,
Lord.
sir. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Feel it, feel it,
Oh
feel it, and
man.
accept it.
Oh man. I definitely appreciate you. It has truly indeed been my honor to, first of all, meet you, to have worked with you, and also most importantly develop a friendship. We don't talk a lot, but I know that I know you're there for me if I need you, and I know, and the same is in return. If I need you, you're there for me. So I just appreciate our relationship. So thank you for just being you. I'm gonna stop because I'm tearing up. Stop. Okay. Uh, um, um, you have I think you have, besides, I talked about this last week, well, last time with Kevin. You all have your Lovers Lane has a unique fan base. I know we're going back to Lovers
Mhm.
Lane, but you all created your own individual fan base. Malachi had his minions, Gabe had Gabe Nation, Bridget Brigade. It was like people love Bridget. So talk to me about having this. How do you feel about having this fan base and having these people that adore you, not just your character, but just adore you as an actress?
You know, it's actually pretty weird. I'm pretty sure most of us can say that it doesn't matter where our names are spoken, we still see ourselves as regular old people. Like, and I don't say that to be like, but I'm not. No, I am. I'm just a regular old person. I got kids and I got a job and I have things I got to do and my breath stinks in the morning and I got to sit here and do the makeup to be all glamorous and whatnot. Like, I'm just a regular old person. So to walk into a room and have people go, "Oh my God, it's Felicia Renee." I'm like, "Where? Who? What? Oh, me." You know, I've gone to award shows in other places where people have been like, "Oh my God, I wanted to meet you," and I'm like, "But why though? I'm just me," you know. So it's really, really weird. It is really, really weird to have anyone say they're a fan, you
Mm,
know, and it's crazy because technically that's what you're trying to do. You're not yes, you're acting for the love of it. You're acting because it makes you feel good. You're acting because it's like a missing part of you that you get back when you're on set. Sure, but it's also a business and you need those fans. You need to be able to say, "Hey, you put my name on this cast, and I will instantly bring this many eyes to your project." You need to do that. It's just still a really, really weird and awkward thing to have happen from time to time, particularly for those people. And I love everybody. I love everybody, y'all. Don't take this the wrong way. I love all y'all, but especially those people who meet you and they go, "You know, you're not nearly as mean as I thought you would be." And I'm like, "That's because I'm not Bridget. I'm Felicia. I'm not Bridget. I'm Felicia." I'm pretty sure TJ gets it too. Where people are like, "You're nothing like Kane." Of course he's not. He's
yeah,
TJ. You
yeah.
know. So it's an interesting feeling to have fans. Like it's hard to even still say that you have fans.
I want to go. We're going back to Lover's Lane because there's a couple things I forgot to discuss. I want to talk about
Uh
these.
oh.
I want to talk about these girl chats, which were some
Ouch.
of my favorite scenes of Lover's Lane. I love how, well, not season one, but season two on. I love how
Mm-hmm.
I was able to just, I wrote something basic, and I love how you, Shay, and Ashley, and eventually Jessica. I love how y'all just went. Y'all just go.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. Talk about the girl chat scenes. Yeah, we got to talk about
But
that.
you want to know why they did that? Why they worked that way? And that's because that's how we were. Like I don't understand how you managed to get three, four strangers in a room and it was like we had known each other for years. Like so those girl chats that people saw on screen were happening off screen. You know, Carlton would let us have real wine. Not to the last girl chat. Then we had the chance to break out the real wine. But you know, but we would be sitting in makeup chairs just chattering away like we had known each other all our lives. So that was real chemistry that came across on screen, and it was so much fun. Like I actually miss them. I miss them. I haven't seen anybody in so long. And like what you didn't know is that sometimes the girl chats extended beyond that. You know,
Mhm.
after the day is over, people would gather in my room and we'd all just sit around talking and laughing and gossiping and dissecting the day. And it was just, it didn't matter who was on set, whether they were just there for a day or if they were, you know, a character who had a couple of seasons under their belt. That was the camaraderie we had on set, and that just happened to come across to everybody. That's why it seemed to be. That's why it got its own hashtag girl chat, because it just that's how we actually were in real life. So, should Shay, I'm not gonna say the whole name because I never quite got it right. Shay, Ashley, Jessica, ladies, I miss y'all. I wish we could get together and redo that again. That was a lot of fun.
Yes, definitely. Do you have any behind the scenes stuff, story, like a story that you want to talk about, that you can talk about?
Not that I can talk about.
Uh,
No, let me think. Let me think. Let me think about something I can say? See, that's the problem with girl chats. We talk about a lot of stuff that don't need to see the light of day. So I'm gonna plead the fifth on that.
Okay, I respect
But,
that. I respect that
mm-hmm.
100%.
I'm gonna keep that confidence. We ain't gonna do that.
Anything funny, like, well, besides the girl chat, anything on set that you was like for instance, me and Kevin talked about
Baby,
how I broke the table. Like,
no, I remember I wasn't in the room when you broke the table. I heard the aftermath of the table breaking. But baby, look, I cannot remember his name. I just know I will never forget it happening when Jason's little lover got mad at him and slapped him on the way out the door. Look, people, that
I
was
remember
not in the
that.
script.
I remember that.
People, that was not in the script. He ad-libbed that. He didn't tell anybody he was going to do it. And I was not prepared. What was Jason's real name? I can't remember it right now.
Eric.
But Eric, thank you. Poor Eric had to do it twice because the first time it happened, it shocked me so badly. Oh, there goes. That's what it did to me. The first time it happened, it shocked me so badly that I instantly fell out of character, cracked up laughing, was like, "Oh my god, wait, what just happened?" And Carlton was like, "Cut, we got to do that again." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry," but I wasn't.
But the thing
I didn't know.
they didn't tell me, they didn't tell you. They actually had that, from my understanding, they had that conversation offline, and they said they're gonna do that, and then they didn't tell us.
Let me just say this for all of my acting family across the world, please tell the rest of the crew that you're gonna do something like that, because I wasn't prepared, my soul wasn't prepared, I reacted. And if you watch that, I don't know if you guys have the DVD set or whatever, if you guys watch that scene again, you will see I still reacted. And if you look at my face, I'm trying not to laugh because I just wasn't prepared. I just was not prepared. That right there is going in my memoir one day. That scene is going in my memoir because Jesus.
Yeah.
He told his face up. Good Lord.
He did. His face was red. We had to take a minute to take a break for a second and let his face get it together. Yeah. I remember that.
And that is completely my fault because I wasn't ready.
Yeah. It was. Yeah, definitely. definitely.
Ooh, okay.
Who was your favorite character besides Bridget?
My favorite character besides Bridget. You know what? My favorite character besides Bridget eventually was Jessica, because she was.
Who played Tasha? Yeah.
She was just, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. See, I told you. Tasha. Because she was just as manipulative as Bridget, could possibly have bested Bridget had Bridget not stayed on her toes. Mm-hmm. And I liked that. She was no slouch. And I liked the fact that we never truly got her motivations. So it was just like, she just might be mean for the sake of being mean. She just might be like, we don't know, is she a nympho? Is she just high sex drive? Is she just what is she? We never quite got that story from her character. And I loved that mystery. I loved the fact that she was behind so much and we didn't realize it. There were things that had she wanted to, had you gone that way, she could have easily set everybody in that show up and walked off the victor. So I loved that about her.
Okay, let's get into this little tea. I don't know if you knew this either. So before what y'all saw on screen as the series finale, there was a proposed Cunningham spinoff. I told you we had all these worlds that was going to happen.
Yes.
So there was a proposed Cunningham spinoff. Someone came to me about Well, first off, it started off as someone came to me asking me about doing. They had a meeting with me. It was like, "Hey, what you
Hmm.
think about doing a prequel about the Cunninghams?" And I was like, um, I mean, maybe, but I was like, the actors that play them now can't play them in the prequel
Younger.
because
Yeah.
everybody looks like an adult, so it needs to be
Right.
younger people. If that's what y'all are trying to accomplish, then we're going. If y'all want to be in it, it can't be a prequel. It's gonna have to be
Hmm.
a spinoff. So I entertained the idea, and I actually had a conversation with GL and Jessica. And actually, when we was in Washington D.C., we talked about it potentially happening. Again, though, but again, things happen,
Yeah.
and you know, we had to do what we had to do to make it work. But you can see, but honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I was still in my um series bag, that's why
Hmm.
I had Tasha stay alive versus killing her off. It was like, all right, just in case I want to do something still, her
Right.
character would still be. I said Tasha can't die. Like she cannot.
No,
Not and not
it,
and
it
not
was
and,
a,
and,
it was a
and not in
shock
that
when I
way.
thought she did.
And not in that way either. Like I thought that was, if she were to die, it couldn't be in that way. That's too easy.
Right. She had to have a little bit more comeuppance if she was going to die. You had to give Cynthia her satisfaction if you were going to really kill Jessica off.
Hmm.
It had to be like that.
Yeah, definitely.
And I
So
would, and I'm gonna tell you the truth, I would not been mad had Bridget died and it was because Jessica did something. I would not have been mad at that.
oh, really? That's interesting because most people don't like when their characters are
Hmm.
killed. Most people don't like when their characters are killed off. So that's very interesting that you say that.
If Bridget had been beaten at her own game, that would have been perfect. Because I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Bridget the way she is, but Bridget was unbeatable because again, she was 2 steps ahead of everyone, and she had gotten comfortable in the fact that she was 2 steps ahead of everyone. So to have that moment where she goes, "Oh shit, she got me," like
Yeah,
to have that moment would have been so satisfying to me. She would
yeah.
have gotten her grand death scene.
Hmm. Interesting. I actually like that perspective. That's interesting to hear.
Mhm.
Again, because you don't hear most actors talking about being killed off. Once sometimes you have that conversation, like, no, don't do it. Don't kill me, please. Don't do it.
I thought you were gonna do it when Kane shot Bridget. I really thought for a moment that she was done and that
I'm
she had gotten beaten.
I'm telling you, I've had like the final season for me. I had so many thoughts. I was like, how are we going to do this? Because again, that original script to me was so perfect of
Hmm.
how to end the show. So when we weren't able to do that, I was all right. Are we going to do this? And I didn't want everything to be so sappy. Um,
Right.
so I had to include some stuff to make people think, all right, some people still may die, blah blah blah. And yeah,
Hmm.
I actually enjoyed in the actual what we saw. I actually enjoyed the way Bridget got her father. I enjoyed that. You and
Oh no, that was fun.
you and Bowie did have a great chemistry as father and daughter. Y'all did an amazing. I love that scene. How Bridget orchestrated all that stuff using the person that he's sleeping with at the time. It was great.
Hmm.
I believe what we did translated so well on screen. I think people definitely enjoy how the series ended. So yeah, I think everything
Right.
turned out
I
great.
mean, Bowie is such a good actor that he is probably the only person working opposite Bridget who could be hated more than Bridget. Quite honestly.
So I want to talk about your return. I know you guys haven't really seen Felicia on a lot of VPN projects in a while, but she does make a return to the assistant to. Why are you making that face? Because ma'am.
For the same reason I came on set the way I did. I said, "Sir, it is about time. I have been sitting up on the shelf gathering dust. I am one email away."
I didn't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I had no idea. Cause I mean, I'm not divulging anything, but I mean, I didn't know. I didn't know what was going on. So I was like, all right, you know, when
Oh no,
something
real talk.
yeah,
Life was lifing. I won't
yeah,
lie. Life was
yeah,
lifing.
yeah.
So, but no, I was always just, I told everybody, I have car, will travel. As long as I have a car, I'm out. I'm good.
Yeah.
The one thing that wasn't going to change was my love of doing what I did. So I was watching all these movies and all this. I'm like, that would have been nice to be in. Oh, I like that one. That would have been fun. Oh, he's doing Christmas movies now. Okay, I knew
I,
Jingle Bells was the best of them.
I'm
So,
not gonna lie. Like I said, I honestly wish I would have known. I was like, I had no idea. I had
although,
no idea.
although you know what, y'all, I will be fair, and I will explain how it happened. I was cast in a different show, and I couldn't make it through no fault of my own. So it's not all Carlton. I was cast in something. It was being publicized, and then I had to drop because had some stuff happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But I want to put this out there. That's not the reason why I didn't call you, was because of that. That had nothing to do with it. I honestly thought there was things happening, and I didn't know that you were still trying to act. So I thought, well, I'm gonna give her time, and then when she's ready, she'll let me know. So that's what I thought. But it was great to have you on the assistant too. I thought it was great. It was great to see you. First of all, I ain't seen you. I'm gonna say since.
right,
I ain't seen you in a
Cincha.
while. And it was just great. It was just great energy. I mean, TJ was in the scene too, so it was just great to
Yeah.
have y'all back together.
You know, I
Um,
can't seem to get away from acting with that Negro. Why do people keep putting me in scenes with TJ Spine? No,
that was such a great dynamic, because we can talk about it a little bit. The movie's not out yet. I'm actually, and
right.
I'm still editing as we speak. Um, you're playing his boss in this movie. You are actually the owner of the company that he works for.
Hmm.
You play Mrs. Cobbs. So talk about actually being back on set. Talk about that, coming back to us.
I was extremely nervous because that was we talked about the pandemic happening. And, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm in North Carolina and I have a really hard time just being real. So, for all you people out here who are watching, if you've ever heard of me, I'm talking to y'all. I have a really hard time getting cast in projects in North Carolina. I don't know what it is,
I was about
but
to ask
if you
you, why is that? But you don't know. You
I
just said you
don't
don't know. You
know.
don't know.
I find the casting notices, I submit to the casting notices, but the North Carolina people do not want to cast me. I get cast in Washington, D.C., I get cast in Virginia, I get cast everywhere else, but I cannot get cast in North Carolina. So when the pandemic happened, all these places that had been casting me would not bring me back in because they had this thing where they weren't bringing out of towners to set. And so
Gotcha.
I had a really hard time finding roles. And so I've just been kind of sitting. And then after the pandemic, when things started to open up again, life just became life. Thankfully, I'm in a much better place now, much better space. I got my peace of mind. I've got, I'm ready to get out there and attack it again, but it's like starting over.
Yeah.
So getting that chance to get back on set, and it was just like, I'm home. it was just that moment, like, baby, I'm back. So I mean, that was, and even though it wasn't like a lead role, I was just happy to be back. I was just happy to have a script and be on set and hear action and get to do all the things. So, even though I apparently am in one of the final offerings from the VPN library, I love being back, and it's reignited that fire. So don't y'all worry. I'm getting my stuff together. I'm gonna find somebody gonna put me in their cast. We gonna see. Somebody gonna do it. Y'all will see me again. But
Yeah.
no, it was a lot of fun getting back on set.
Awesome. I just want to say, like I said again, it was, as I mentioned, it was just great having you there. It was great seeing you. I want you to talk about, because you mentioned earlier about how I was a one man band, we was lovers lane. You saw that I
Y'all,
actually had a team there this
Carlton,
time. So were you shocked when you saw?
yes, because Carlton upgraded, y'all. Okay, so I've known that he was. So no, let me back it up. So yes, Carlton was a one man band, and I had told Carlton before, you need help because you're gonna burn yourself out. I had told him that on more than one occasion.
Yeah.
So to get on set and see an AD and another cameraman and someone else who's doing lights and someone else who's doing sound. Like, to watch VPN, to have been gone for as long as I was, and when I left, VPN was a one man, sometimes we have a boom operator show, to an actual set, an actual production. Like, seeing that growth, quite literally, I almost cried. I was just like, oh my God, he did it. Like, it was like, he did it, you know? So I was honestly, it was like, why? It was like being a proud mama. And I ain't even got the stretch marks from birthing you. It was just like, I just was, I was so proud of you in that moment because you said you were going to do it and you did it, you know? So just watching the growth, and I do hate that I missed all of that, but I am honestly so proud of what you've done. Even though you want to step away from it right now and explore other things, you've got that. You've got that moment of, I was going to do it, I said I was going to do it, and I did it. So kudos to you. That was an awesome thing to see, to walk. I was literally shocked, like, oh my God, he has a crew. And he is just standing over in the corner with the script. He doesn't even have a camera in his hands anymore. He's just got the script and he's telling people what to do. Look at this man being tough.
Yeah, it's I was happy that you got to see that. And like I said, a lot of the people that I work with have been with me for years, and it's always a great thing when somebody who has stepped away a little bit and then they come back. I'm like, I really want to make sure, honestly, like I want y'all to be proud of me. He's growing, he's growing,
No,
he's
you
growing,
did that, sir.
growing a little bit.
You did it without being, look, you did it without being owned. You did it without Tyler Perry's help. You did it without anybody's help. You did it. Like, quite literally, you did that. So
I
yeah, that's something
appreciate
to
it.
be proud of.
Thank you. I just want to put for the record. I know a lot of people. Honestly, I know we say about retiring, man, and I'm talking about VPN is not over. I just want to put that on. I just want to
Oh
be.
no, 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 no.
I just want that to be on record. But this is our. We're in our 21st year. Um, we celebrated 20 years last year. We're in our 21st year. We're legally drink. VPN can legally drink. VPN is 21 years old. Shout out to my man Isaac. My man Isaac. I told him, I said, we're going into our 21st year. He said, oh, VPN can drink now. I said, okay, I like that. I said, so yes, VPN
And
can drink.
VPN is evolving.
It's evolving. So we're evolving. Like I said again, I'm always going to be a creative. I'm always writing. Writing never ceases for me. I'm always writing something. It's just going to be looking a little different now. But yeah, VPN is here to stay. VPN is not going anywhere. Again, you just never know what's going to happen. Like I'm saying this in January. I'm saying this in January, and who knows what'll happen in September. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm calling what's gonna happen. I'm calling what's gonna happen. I'm gonna put it on record right now. Here's what's
Uh-oh.
gonna happen.
Uh-oh.
So if y'all were not aware, Carlton has his comic series that he is writing right now. Chosen, right?
Yes, it's called Chosen, correct.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So he's got his comic series. What's going to end up happening is someone's going to take that comic, they're going to turn it into a bona fide anime, and you guys will be hearing Felicia Renee voicing one of his characters.
I'm here for that.
That's what's going to happen.
But you know what? That does not involve me. That does not involve me drawing. That doesn't involve me doing that doesn't involve me doing no camera work. So I'm actually here for that.
No, it doesn't.
I'm actually
it lets
here.
you.
I'm here for that. Actually, I'm not going to
step
step
in
in
continue
front.
writing. It lets you continue creating, and all you got to do is hand somebody these comics and let them adapt the script, and approve. We are about to Walking Dead your comic series.
I'm here for that. I receive it. This is me taking what you said and receiving it here. So
now watch what I said, y'all. When he come out in 2 years talking about he needs voiceover actors, understand that you heard me say it here. Okay,
you did absolutely. It's marked. It is marked for sure.
Time stamped, baby.
Yes. Is there anything else that you want to say to the people out there that may be watching?
So I said I'm coming back on the scene. I have not, I've been exploring the auditions and things like that. So again, you guys will see me. I'm looking at some new projects. I I've been convinced to try a podcast. Apparently, someone out there thinks that people might want to hear me talk for 30 minutes to an hour. So
I say, why not? I mean, I say go for it. I mean, you just never know.
So if y'all start seeing me talk about a podcast soon, we're still workshopping a name and a premise for it, but that's a new project that I'm down. I'm down for anything creative because that's who I am at my core.
Yeah.
Y'all about to see me being happy and healthy and just in my golden time of life. So that's the most important part right now. So I'm just saying, keep an eye out. As long as I'm being creative, I'm happy. So I'm gonna be somewhere doing something creative.
Yeah, and we can't wait to see it for sure. All right, Miss Felicia Renee, if you want people to follow you and follow you on this journey of life, how can they do so?
So y'all gotta understand that I'm at a certain age where I can't do but one social medias at a time. But I do have some social medias. You can find me at Felicia Renee on Facebook. I am actress Felicia Renee on TikTok because I do be tickety talking sometimes. And you can find me as I believe I am actress Felicia Renee on Instagram. Although, honey, that Instagram is dusty. I ain't been there in years. Ain't talk about the ex. We ain't gonna talk about the ex tweet that I don't. Them streets is dangerous. I leave them alone. So you can have that. I'm there, but I ain't there really. You get it.
Oh man. Well, Felicia, thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule to talk with me. This was fun. This was absolutely
That was fun.
This was fun. This definitely was fun. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Felicia Renee, everybody, clap it up. Clap it up, everybody. And that is it for me. I'm Carlton T. Clay. This is VPN Chat. Y'all have a good one. Peace.